Oh yeah, that's what you've got to do. You've got to just push, man.
Have no fear, just push.
Just push.
You give in. That's when God's about to step in.
Yeah.
For as long as you live in, push, 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 push. Shalaba, I shalaba. Oh. Taladona, taladona. Friends and family will lost faith in you. So don't put your faith in mankind, or you might get left behind. Just be transformed and make your mind brand new. As he leads you, just follow, because he holds you tomorrow.
All right, folks. It's that time again. It's the first program of this kind for the new year. 2023 is here with us. What are we going to do with it? Now that you've found it, what are you going to do with it? 2023, you've survived into the new year. What are your plans? What are we going to do together to build and move Grenada forward? Have you, sat and thought about it? Yeah, it's a brand new opportunity to do things differently. You did not accomplish all the things that you intended to accomplish in 2022, but you've been given a gift of life into 2023. So what will you do differently? What can you do differently? What are you prepared to do? I've got my plans. I've got my intentions. Yeah. It all starts with you, right? So good morning. Good day to all our online listeners and viewers, wherever you may be. And it's good to have you on board with us this morning as usual. All right. Ann Fletcher says, good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. That's our first comment there on our Facebook Live page. Yeah. So let's get into the business of the moment. All right. And yeah, let's do this. Okay, where is it? Okay, we've got, as usual, it's no different this morning. We have the word of the day, and the word for today is the word precocious. Precocious, and it is an adjective, and it means having or showing mature qualities at an unusually early age. It can also mean exceptionally early in development or occurrence. Now, the word can be used, it is spelled Precocious. And it can be used this way. A precocious musician has been performing concerts since the age of 7. And you can also say she was a precocious child who could read before she started school. Yeah, precocious. That's the word of the day. It's an adjective, remember that, and it is spelled Precocious. Nice. 25 minutes on to 7 o'clock. That is the time. Let's now look at the thought of the day. And the thought of the day is, the world promised you comfort, but you were not made for comfort. You were made for greatness. And that's a quote coming from the belated Pope Benedict. All right, he has passed on to the great beyond. All right, so remember that the world promised you comfort, but you were not made for comfort. You were made for greatness. So go out there and get your greatness. Now, there are a number of stories buzzing on the social media. We had not a very good start as it relates to the road drivers and pedestrians and road users. All right, police are investigating the circumstances surrounding what's believed to be the island's second road fatality in as many days. This accident occurred at the Limes in Grand Anse on Monday, a public holiday which was granted in celebration of the New Year. Villagers have described the woman as being elderly and said that she is known as Sarah. Yeah, that's that's a sad one. All right, the police are investigating the circumstances surrounding that accident. Okay, what else is buzzing? We also had an accident in St. Patrick, Marley to be precise. Now it says, what's really happening? Is this the way to start the new year? 2 accidents and fatalities in as many days? All right, condolences go out to the families. Okay, we also see that so many iconic figures have transcended in the latter part of 2022. Yeah, Singing Francine was gone. Winston Peters, not a lot have mercy. Gypsy, my good friend, sorry. Leroy Callis, Dr. Leroy Callis, the Black Stallion, has gone to the great beyond. And we also see that Pele, all right, football legend, he was 82 years old. He passed on. Right, we now learn that former Pope Benedict the 16th, he died at the age of 95. Yeah, some great ones are passing on. All right, we also, I don't know if you remember this lady, if you're old enough, but if you are, you might remember that news anchor Barbara Walters. Well, she passed away at the age of 93 as well. Good. What else is buzzing this morning? All right, men charged with robbery with violence. And Kriston Barboza, a 27 years old Special Reserve Police officer, a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, together with Stephen Francis, 28 years old, fisherman of Victoria St. Mark. Well, they were arrested and jointly charged for the offense of robbery with violence. And that's in connection with the December 22nd robbery at Grand Mall gas station. Mr. Francis was also charged for the offense of assault with a dangerous instrument, to wit, a gun. Both men were remanded to His Majesty's prison. The matter was adjourned to January 10th, 2023. All right, that's coming from the Office of the Public Relations Department of the RGPF. Okay, could you imagine that a police officer, a reserve police officer? And the main story that I'm going to be touching this morning, and I really want to hear your take on this. Who turns down $10,000? All right, $10,000 gift returned. That was a wise decision, do you think? All right, the alleged gifting of $10,000 in cash continues to generate debate in the Grenadian capital and island-wide. All right, attention was drawn to a letter which was dispatched to the local actors of an overseas company. The correspondence registered a local agency's declining gifts, which were dispatched to its office earlier last month. The gifts included a box, a bottle or drink, and $10,000 in cash. Its principals were instructed to collect the items by 4 p.m. on the day on which they were dropped off. Political science lecturer Dr. Damian Gribbs spoke to GBN about the need to preserve independence and integrity in public life. That is what we will be looking at this morning in the conversation. Meanwhile, the Integrity Commission acknowledges that a fulsome report was received from the chair of the Citizenship by Investment, that's the CBI committee chair, about the gifts offered to its chair and office bearers. The commission was duly informed that in the exercise of his discretion and guided by the integrity in public life legislation as well as internal policies, the CBI chair returned the gifts. There was therefore no need to trigger the Commission's gift registry system at this time. So that's the main story that we will be looking at this morning. Okay? So get yourself ready, get yourself in gear. We will have the conversation right after the AM edition of News, Sports, and the Weather right here on K105 and GBN TV. So remember the word for today, the word precocious. And it means having or showing mature qualities at an unusually early age. It can also mean exceptionally early in development or occurrence. And it can be used, a precocious musician. He's been performing concerts since the age of 7. Also, she was a precocious child who could read before she started school. The thought for the day, the world promises you comfort, but you were not made for comfort. You were made for greatness. That's it for the segment. We've got the AM edition of News, Sports, and the Weather forthcoming, which will be followed by the conversation. Stick and stay with us. Don't you go anywhere. Good morning, Grenada. It's such a joy to be with you once again. Those of you on the various buses or your private transportation heading into the cities or to the various workplaces, be careful on the road, all right? Parents, remember, school reopens today. Ensure that the students, your children, are ready. And I do hope that they had the opportunity to spend some time in the school books during the Christmas vacation. See you on the flip side of 7.
Good evening, I'm Kenroy Batiste. The Grenada Broadcasting Network has been seeking to verify the authenticity of a document which is in circulation on social media. It carries the letterhead of a major organization in Grenada. That agency is known to have a large overseas clientele. Nisha Peters reports.
The document details in receipt of gifts in the month of December, including a large sum of cash. The items were opened in the presence of 3 officials. 2 senior officials in the organization wrote to the alleged sender, outlining that they cannot accept the gift because it contravened its ethics and policies. GBN made several efforts today to contact officials of both organizations, which were identified in the document. One of the persons who was contacted said the document in circulation was drawn to their attention. However, the officials said since they returned gifts from time to time, they were not yet in a position to comment on the authenticity of that particular document. That person has promised to review and revert to the GBN. More information will be provided if and when this is made available. For GBN News, I am Nisha Peters.
Professor Damian Graves has weighed in on a questionable letter in circulation, saying integrity in public life is of paramount importance.
It draws my admiration that this was allegedly sent back to the individual or the entity that offered it, with an explanation as to why the individual or entity that received it could not accept it. Quoting extensively the act or the law which suggests that this thing ought not to happen.
Dr. Damian Graves, a professor at the St. George's University, speaking against the backdrop of an alleged receipt and non-acceptance of gifts in the month of December and a large sum of cash from a purported foreign organization to a major organization in Grenada. Dr. Graves added that if it so happens that gifts are accepted, there is what is called integrity in public life, where a declaration must be made before the Integrity Commission. The professor notes, though, that some gifts can be genuine and can be offered as a token of appreciation for a deed or assistance rendered. However, as an individual in public life, one must be guided by the Integrity in Public Life Act.
In the integrity in public life, we understand that those issues can, in fact, be deemed by the public as questionable. And it could be deemed as taking advantage of your position for your own or for your personal gain. That's why there's the Integrity in Public Life Act. I know in St. Lucia, I know in Grenada, in many of the countries, politicians, heads of organizations, heads of institutions middle managers, and so on, have to make a declaration of the gifts that you have received.
With corruption being one of the main hindrances of development, Dr. Greaves says that too warrants a close eye.
It's a prescription for underdevelopment. It's a prescription for financial, personal gain for individuals, which we obviously have to stamp out. So when we look at the confluence of all of these events, in terms of COVID-19 and climate change and all what is happening around us, we have to also talk about corruption as part of the difficulty that we need to stamp out. Corruption in various entities, corruption among politicians, corruption from heads of state, these things also have to be dealt with.
According to the Integrity in Public Life Act, all public officials, in accordance with the Prevention of Corruption and the Integrity of Public Life Acts, shall not accept gifts of gratification. If gifts or gratification are accepted, the officer is required to disclose that gift to the Commission, who determines whether the gift is a personal gift or a state gift. Christina John, GBN News.
The Grenada Tourism Authority has announced a significant increase in visitor arrivals for the third consecutive month. The review period started in September, and the GTA has been using 2019 as its benchmark year since COVID-19 struck in 2020. Christina John has another report.
Data suggests that this November was exceptional, with over 14,000 visitors. The last quarter of 2022 has seen the return of all international flights into Grenada. This includes both Air Canada, with a twice-weekly service, and Sunwing Airlines every Sunday from Toronto. Condor Airlines from Frankfurt also returned with a direct flight service every Sunday, and British Airways expanded their flight schedule from London Gatwick by adding a third flight. Caribbean Airlines Limited moved to provide a daily service from Trinidad and Tobago. CEO of the Grenada Tourism Authority, Petra Roach, stated that during the pandemic, the GTA did a lot of groundwork.
To have results surpassing 2019 numbers in September, October, November, and we expect the same will happen in December. I think that it's really testament to a lot of the groundwork that we put into place during the pandemic. You know, we looked at systems which could actually create a much more efficient operation, and also we put policies and processes in place which could evaluate our activity. We also engaged new PR teams both in North America and in the UK, and then the overseas sales teams, we actually strengthened those with additional team members.
Ms. Roach says they expect to finish the year 2022 with a 2% growth.
We saw a much more cost-effective marketing reach, and also we could assess quite quickly if something was working, and if it wasn't, we could actually switch that out. So the digital footprint has really been very advantageous to us and our effectiveness. And a lot of the time that we had was prioritized also to deepening the relationships with our distribution channels in the marketplace. So I'm talking about our travel agents community, our tour operator partners, so that we could really drill down and understand better how their business is aligned with our product. And we continue to build out Grenada's brand equity so that ultimately travelers who are looking for somewhere to travel to, that they will have Grenada in their consideration set of places that they want to visit.
Christina John, GBN.
Raqqa Television Centre new licence discs are to be issued to vehicle owners starting next week. Let's get the rest of the details from Christina John.
From the first week of January 2023, motor vehicle owners will have a new licensing decal or disc attached to their vehicles. Sergeant Edward Abraham, officer in charge of the licensing department within Inland Revenue, says the new system has been tested and is up and ready for implementation. The officer explains the adjustments.
All right, in 2023, the RGPF will be rolling out a new license decal, which we call the disc or the sticker on the windscreen. For over the years, we have been using what we know on the screen right now as a disc, and where we have to punch it and mark on it and everything like that. That will be a thing of the past. In the new disc or decal that we'll be having, it will be done electronically. But we are hoping that we start on the 3rd of January and everything will be just rolling out fine.
Sergeant Abraham provides details on what will happen after the inspection process.
Right, so when persons come from inspecting the motor vehicles, they pay the required fees. They will come to us with the inspection certificate, the receipt from payments, and the original insurance certificate, and we will retrieve that information from them, enter it into the system, and generate the decal for them. So the decal will be generated from the licensing system that we have, and that decal, what will be there is the vehicle registration number will be on the decal, the VIN number, and also the type of vehicle will be on that decal. There will also be a QR code, yes, where you can obtain information from that code, and also the license decal number.
The new system for the licensing disc will be done in St. David, St. Andrew, St. John, and St. George. He adds that this will also serve as a deterrent to unlawful acts.
Is for us a step in the right direction, due to the fact that over the years we have situations where a person will remove a license disc from one vehicle to another. But this now, it will be very difficult to do, because the decal or the disc that will be on the motor vehicle will be carrying the information concerning the motor vehicle that it's on, then the registration number and everything. So
Sergeant Abraham assures the public that this new method will not be difficult to adjust to. However, he appeals for patience and understanding as they work through this phase. Inspections to be conducted for 2023 in St. George will take place at the National Stadium throughout the inspection period, beginning January 3rd to June 30th. The officer notes that a number of police officers have been in training, bringing them up to speed with the new system. Chrislina John, GBN News.
Well, the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force is recommending an inspection before inspection. The department will roll out its new license discs starting the first week in January 2023. Sergeant Ryan Smith, attached to the Traffic Department, is making a call to motorists to have a mechanic inspect their vehicles before bringing them to the police for inspection for a seamless process.
Persons must present the vehicle at the inspection center thoroughly cleaned. And when we say thoroughly cleaned, we mean both the exterior and the interior of that vehicle must be thoroughly cleaned. Now, what we would want to advise persons that a mechanic must check that vehicle before you present it at the inspection center. All right, so that mechanic will give you an appreciation as to whether or not your vehicle is ready for inspection, because we don't want you be turning up at the center and then you have to turn back. Now, there is also what we refer to as a 6-week window in which persons are required to get the vehicle inspected.
Sergeant Smith highlighted a number of recent issues the department has been faced with when motorists show up for inspection.
You have to ensure that we have been having some issues in terms of vehicles showing up at the inspection center with the wheels outside of the wheel box. All right, the wheel's supposed to be confined to the wheel box. You have persons turning up with lights that are colored. The rays from the headlamps are being colored. Some people turning up with their windscreen washer not working. The wiper blades are cracked and so on, and it cannot really get the water of the windscreen. Lights are not working. You have to ensure that all your lights are working. The braking system is working. Your handbrakes is and so on is working. So you got to ensure that all those things are working. Your tires are not defective.
A $500 per month honorarium from government may not be enough to entice nurses from leaving Grenada to seek better livelihoods for themselves. However, Health Minister Jonathan LeCret says it's worth a try.
To me, it was an apology to our nurses for being called chicken thieves. 1. 2, to me, it was an apology also for the way that they have been treated over the past few years. Devalued, disdained, lack of compassion, and I can go on.
Health Minister Jonathan LeCret says government's honorarium to nurses in the amount of $500 per month serves as an apology, not for tomfoolery.
As an administration, we do not have the time for bare Nancy pageantry. The $500 honorarium was not given to trick, coerce, mama guy, our nurses. If we wanted to do that, we would have given them $5,000.
This $500 monthly token payment to nurses also serves as a discouragement to migration.
Nurse, we need you. Doctors, we need you. The situation is not of the best. We understand that. But hear the cry of your minister. If you leave, we are crippled. If you leave, we are doomed. Give us the opportunity to value you and to show you that you mean something to our system.
Is that enough to encourage nurses to stay in Grenada and continue to provide much-needed services? Minister LeCret says he simply doesn't know, but it's worth a try. He said reforming the health sector will require an aggressive reformative posture geared towards addressing a number of deficiencies, including filling vacant positions. The human resource factor he addressed was the need for training for locals to take up senior positions. A recent issue at the Monge Mental Hospital was also considered, as he said local healthcare workers are treated by some brought in to provide their service in a way not fitting to humans.
When they come in, there is a level of superintendence and superiority that is placed over our people because they know we need them. So they leverage that need with disdain and disgust. But it will stop, Madam President.
Charian Blackman, Stephen, GBN News.
Grill Master invites you to its new dining experience. Middle Eastern grill food, appetizers, salads, and Grenada's finest local cuisines. Join us for local breakfast, lunch, or dinner. At Grill Master, dine and feel the aroma of Middle Eastern spices blended with fresh local herbs and spices. Taste and feel the Caribbean mixed with Damascus and Beirut cooking styles. All Middle Eastern menu items available for free delivery. That's right, free for Middle Eastern menu orders over $50. Delivery available throughout St. George's every day, including Sunday and public holidays between 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Book your table or place your free delivery order at 439-3737, 439-7733. WhatsApp number 423-3737. Caribbean, Middle Eastern cuisine. So tasty. Grill Master, second to none.
Level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro.
To swim and don't you drown, 'cause mama been swimming since her dawn. Mama said take up your cross and follow him, and let the good Lord save you from your sin. So pray for your son. Pray for your son. Pray for your son. Pray for your son. Oh, because this world is getting heavy now, and it's so dark I can't see no clouds. Mama now. And she said, keep an eye out for the men in blue. Come inside before the lights come on so they won't get you. Oh, so pray for your son. Because this world is getting so heavy and it's so dark.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning, this segment, Good Morning Grenada. It's Tuesday. It's the first working day of the new year for most persons. And of course, in case you're just joining us, well, I'm Gordon Joseph, the innocent one, and in your company. There's one gentleman that will call. I know he will call later in the program, and you say you're innocent. Good morning, sir. Happy New Year to you. All right, good. We've got a number of stories buzzing this morning, and let's look at them. But there's one in particular that I really want us to spend some time concentrating on. We heard of two fatal accidents over the weekend, one Sunday, one Monday. One in Mali in St. Patrick, one in the Limes Grand Anse. All right, a sad way to start the year for some families. Also, we hear that, singing Francine is gone, Black Stallion is gone, Pele is gone, Pope Benedict XVI is gone. All right. Also, Barbara Walters, a news anchor, she passed away at the age of 93. What else? Okay, there are some men charged. Kriston Barbosa, 27-year-old Special Reserve Police officer, a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. He was charged together with Stephen Francis, 28 years old, fisherman of Victoria St. Mark. They were arrested and jointly charged for the offense of robbery with violence in connection with the December 22nd robbery at the Grand Mall station. We hear that Mr. Francis was also charged for the offense of assault with a dangerous instrument, to wit, a gun. Now, both men, they were remanded to His Majesty's prisons. The matter is adjourned until January 10. And the big story this morning that I know will stir some conversation. We ask it this way: who turns down $10,000 in a time like this? Well, let me tell you who will do that. The chairman of the Citizenship by Investment Program. I would call him the honorable, because that's what he did. He did an honorable thing. Richard Duncan. All right. It is alleged the gifting of $10,000 in cash continues to generate debate in the Grenadian capital and island-wide. Okay, the Integrity Commission got involved, and they said there was no reason to trigger the gift registry system because the gifts were turned down. So my television guy is going to play that clip, and then we'll have the conversation. The number to call, it's 435-2041. That's the number you got to call to be a part of it. We'll take a listen of that clip from the television.
It draws my admiration that this was allegedly sent back to the individual or the entity that offered it, with an explanation as to why the individual or entity that received it could not accept it. Quoting extensively the act or the law which suggests that this thing ought not to happen.
Dr. Damian Graves, a professor at the St. George's University, speaking against the backdrop of an alleged receipt and non-acceptance of gifts in the month of December and a large sum of cash from a purported foreign organization to a major organization in Grenada. Dr. Graves added that if it so happens that gifts are accepted, there is what is called integrity in public life, where a declaration must be made before the Integrity Commission. The professor notes, though, that some gifts can be genuine and can be offered as a token of appreciation for a deed or assistance rendered. However, as an individual in public life, one must be guided by the Integrity in Public Life Act.
In the Integrity in Public Life, we understand that those issues can in fact be deemed by the public as questionable. And it could be deemed as taking advantage of your position for your own or for your personal gain. That's why there's the Integrity in Public Life Act. I know in St. Lucia, I know in Grenada, in many of the countries, politicians, heads of organizations, heads of institutions, middle managers, and so on, have to make a declaration of the gifts that you have received.
With corruption being one of the main hindrances of development, Dr. Graves says that too warrants a close eye.
It's a prescription for underdevelopment. It's a prescription for financial, personal gain for individuals, which we obviously have to stamp out. So when we look at the confluence of all of these events, in terms of COVID-19 and climate change and all what is happening around us, we have to also talk about corruption as part of the difficulty that we need to stamp out. Corruption in various entities, corruption among politicians, corruption from heads of state, these things also have to be dealt with.
According to the Integrity in Public Life Act, all public officials, in accordance with the Prevention of Corruption and the Integrity of Public Life Acts, shall not accept gifts of gratification. If gifts or gratification are accepted, the officer is required to disclose that gift to the Commission, who determines whether the gift is a personal gift or a state gift. Christelina John, GBN News.
Thank you very much, Christelina, for that comprehensive report. All right, folks. Well, you heard it, and I am certain that even before hearing it from this clip, that story was buzzing, and I want to hear from you. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning. Innocent, good morning to your listeners and your viewers. It so happens I'm your first caller for the year, it might be.
Well, you won yourself a prize.
Anyway, but I'm
the prize is not $10,000 though.
Of course. No, but I mean, this raises some real serious questions. For instance, had the government not changed and a new person set at the helm there, would this have gone through? We need to ask a question, and we need to ask a question also. By the way, notwithstanding the fact that I personally would never support switching my investment regardless of the government involved. Let me make this statement, but nonetheless, the fact that we had a situation where the current head of the body was able to refuse it shows something about his level of integrity. I mean, from long, but it also raises a question to what extent this has been a practice. And it's very sad. I mean, I've heard situations not just in that sector, in other areas where people are given so-called, they give different names for it. Corruption is something we need to stamp out. Okay. And if you're going into public office, you must understand that you're going for service and not for the takings. As we have seen, certain people went into government and they come out and they are millionaires now.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we should really discuss that. It's good. I mean, not necessary to satanize people. Those that might have been, culprits, but to understand to what extent.
Okay, thank you, caller. 17 minutes after 7 o'clock, 435-2041. That's the number you call. Let's go back to the telephone line. Good morning.
Good morning, Vincent.
Hi, welcome. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year too, and to all your listeners, viewers. You know, I support the first caller in the sense of, do we really need the citizenship by investment? And I'm wondering, as this has come so early with this new administration, because I don't know whether when this plan was put into place, there was any discussion, national discussion.
Discussion on what?
On the plan.
What plan?
To move to adopting this plan about citizenship by investment.
Okay.
And I am saying that probably right now, what we should probably do is suspend that program, because I think our country can develop financially with all the resources that we have, and sometimes we don't play those, and we go to those things which in the long run sometimes creates more problems for us than development as a small country.
In essence, you're against the citizenship by investment program.
Well, yes, that is my point.
But have you taken into consideration that it is a program that is run by many countries across the world?
Well, does it mean that we have to follow what other people do?
Well, not
we are unique in our way, and why are we not creating things that others can follow? Why do we have to follow everything that other people do?
I understand your point, but could I extend my opinion now?
Yes, sir.
I am thinking that, okay, you see what Mr. Duncan did?
Yes, sir.
If we get the wheels in motion that rolls on integrity, the CBI program can be run without this level of corruption. It can be properly monitored, and it can be a very, very incremental source of income.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I am saying that
you think Grenadians
the development of our country
okay.
does not have to be left to foreigners.
Okay.
And let me just say, I don't want to be too long, because sometimes it's all in the air. You are the host. I don't want to run your program, but I think indeed for this year we need to go to the point way, because I think you want as many people's opinions as possible. Have a good day, Innocent.
You too. Right. He's off. 19 minutes after 7 o'clock, Alison Cox Osplund says, I will refuse $1 million if it is illegal to receive it. Okay. Lydia Cameron says, good morning, Innocent, and Happy New Year to you and everyone on the beautiful island. Happy New Year to you. Good morning to you, Lydia, as well. Mary E. Banks is watching. Also, Yulin Alexander, a regular campaigner. Good morning, Grenada. Good morning, Gordon Innocent. Happy New Year to all. Have a blessed day. Same to you. Good morning.
Many happy returns to you, Mr. Innocent and Gordon.
How are you?
Pretty good.
I could see it in your voice.
I'm in motion for the day's work.
Good, nice.
Thank you. Listen. Up front is a breath of fresh air. You see, we have to understand that we don't live in a vacuum. And whatever we do, people on the outside would hear us and know us. Therefore, we attract the likes. It means then that breath of fresh air would send a signal that there is a change of administration and way of different thinking. So modus operandi is no longer the same as in the past. Now, whether or not we could continue with that kind of mentality and that responsibility in public life is a different question. in terms of whether we need the avenues for these things to happen, it is a choice that the Grenadian people have to make. And your choices will tell who you are and where you are. Have a great 2023.
Thank you very much, caller. Have a great one yourself. Nice. It's 21 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let me just take a quick look at what's happening on our WhatsApp platform. Good morning, Mr. Innocent. Happy New Year to you once again. It's back to school today. We will also have 2 cruise ships in port today due to arrive at around 11 a.m. Tourist vendors, business nice. As caller would say, business booming. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, sir.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy Old Year and Happy New Year at one time to you.
Nice.
My question is, before I make my statement, not my point, my statement. I'm wondering if this situation with Mr. Duncan and citizen buying investments, are they related? Do they take the same means of sending them or applying for an investment for you to invest in the country? Or do you have to do the same thing when you're sending a gift to somebody? As far as I'm concerned, I do not see the relationship between these 2 situations.
Okay.
Nevertheless, I consider Mr. Duncan to be an honest man. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, that person seemed to be innocent as you. That's why they did the wrong, they did the wrong thing by sending the gift to Mr. Duncan directly. It could be an honest mistake. But Mr. Duncan didn't make any mistake. He refused it. Yeah. Now, sometimes that particular person do not know what is expected if you send in a gift to another organization. So I have some sympathy for the person. I wanted to say the man, but the person who sent the gift to Mr. Duncan.
Okay.
I have no sympathy for those who are trying to bribe particular people in the government when they get this citizenship or they applying for citizenship to get some sort of a gift. When I say gift, I don't mean to buy some place or to get some sort of a compensation. So these two situations are quite different.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one, man. All right, 25 minutes after 7 o'clock, one person on our WhatsApp platform is saying, good morning. The bigger picture is, how did a private letter get to the public? That is another issue. 435-2041, that's the number to call to be in on the conversation this morning. Yeah, 435-2041. How did a private letter of that nature get into the public domain? Good morning, caller.
Hello, sir. Morning. How are you doing?
I am alive and thankful. How about you?
I'm okay.
All right.
And before I go on, I would like to, Mr. Noel, your caller, just your last caller. I'd like you to call me, please, sir. I lost your number.
Mr. Noel, call this gentleman, all right?
Yes, he has my number, but I lost his. Right. A question. I haven't seen it on Facebook yet. But what I'm wondering is if it was a wad of money that was placed in an envelope, or if it was a check, the method used to do the bribery, as one might call it. They have me wondering what form it took. And at the same time, I'm hearing that a bottle of something was given to by the same entity, and that it was actually used there were 3 or 4 gentlemen open it and use it.
What was in that bottle?
Well, it could be wine, it could be some expensive, what do you call it, champagne or whatever, I don't know.
Okay.
That kind of thing, I heard something about that. But it is interesting that it comes out in the public and that Mr. Duncan is getting a whole lot of kudos for that. Very interesting. Now, the question about whether it would have, the same thing would have happened within the other administration that just left. And that speculation kind of thing I don't like. These are the kind of way that people should not be bringing up things. Because speculation and accusation is not a good thing to deal with people. When there hasn't been an evidence of such having happened. You get the point I'm making?
Yeah, definitely.
So at the same time, kudos to Mr. Duncan and the Citizen by Investment program. Now, the thing about that Citizen by Investment program, I have no problem with it. It's just that it needs to be run in a particular way, or at least with integrity, just like what we've just seen as evident there with Mr. Duncan. He being in charge of it. And I know Duncan would enough. And he being in charge of it, he showed demonstration that he's a man of integrity. Fine. But not only Grenada, and even the United States has Citizen by Investment. The program makes a lot of money for the country. You go down in Grenada, especially close to the School of Medicine and so on. The biggest hotel in Grenada is a Citizen by Investment person owned. Most of the hotels in this country in recent times buy Citizen by Investment. And that has placed Grenada in a good stead with a lot of money coming in. The thing about it is that if it creates corruption or possibility of corruption, then we need to look at it, not necessarily abandon the idea.
Well, I think as it relates to the corruption aspect of it, right, I think that it is all dependent on the persons involved, okay? Because if everybody who happens to be in a position where corruption could take place has the mindset and the intestinal fortitude as Mr. Duncan does, corruption can be perpetuated. They would make the attempt, but it will not happen.
I'm as broke as can be. And even if you give me $1 million in a situation like that, I will not take it.
You sure?
As sure as can be.
Okay.
That's me by nature.
All right, thank you, caller.
Kind of a corrupt and greedy mentality that people live with.
Yeah.
I'm yet to understand it.
Thank you,
I've never been that way, and I can't be that way.
Thank you, caller.
I'm as broke as can be.
Thank you, caller. Be broken and contrite spirit. Have a good one. 29 minutes after 7 o'clock. Onto our WhatsApp, Facebook page. Alison Cox Osplund says, most countries have CBI programs. It can be a form of helping in development of the host country, but rules and regulations have to be in place. Also, Donnelly Alexis says, good morning and Happy New Year to all. Mr. Richard Duncan has always been a man of integrity, so it is not a surprise that the gift was returned straight and narrow. That's the man I know. 30 minutes after 7 o'clock, folks, we take our first commercial break in the program. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't you go anywhere. Stick and...
Pfizer celebrates 75 years of transforming lives with its celebratory suite of loan products. Own your own vehicle, education, land, or home, and anchor your roots. Start living the life you deserve by applying for an own-your-own loan at reduced interest rates. Simplify your life and consolidate all your debts by applying for a Simplify loan and open doors to new beginnings and explore more opportunities to shape your future. Call or send us a WhatsApp on 423-4987 or email us at loans@arisecu.com today to continue your journey towards financial freedom. Terms and conditions apply. Ariza Credit Union, celebrating 75 years of transforming lives.
Flavored tips for people living with hypertension this holiday season. Enjoy frozen ham in moderation instead of salt ham. Buy local or frozen vegetables instead of canned ones. Limit tin or canned foods like corned beef. But if you decide to have a little, throw hot water over it before eating to remove some of the salt or fat. You don't have to be perfect at every meal. Just be cautious of your choices. A message from the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council.
Whoa! Did you hear that? The National Lotteries Authority's Lotto jackpot is $236,000. Play Lotto today for chances at winning big. Lotto. Play and win a lot of money.
Welcome back. 26 minutes on to 8 o'clock, and this WhatsApp user says, "Good morning, Innocent, and Happy New Year to you and your family, including the GBN family. I am neither here nor there with the CBI program, but I think what we now have is a sale of passports. I think people wishing to have our passports must first invest significantly in a developmental need of our country and wait for a period of time, maybe 2 years, before being issued the citizenship. That too must follow an initiation to Grenada period, learning our culture, customs, laws, etc. No gifts must be given, offered, or accepted for citizenship of our unspoiled country." Great job, Mr. Duncan. I endorse this statement. All right. It goes on to say that additionally, the money could have been accepted and asked to the giver to join them in making a presentation to a needy home for the aged, etc. It is a cultural difference issue. All right. Okay. Pleasant morning, Innocent. This is a good program. Happy New Year. The best the life is being honest. Thank you, Mr. Duncan. Hands off to you. Good morning to you and family. Good morning to you too. 435-2041, that's the number you can call to get in on the conversation. That's the number, 435-2041. Let's go back to the telephone line. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Now, my concept of citizenship by
investment
simply means people may propose to do business in Grenada for the national development of Grenada. The government carefully weighs the pros and cons of such a proposal and the business and decides. If the government decides yes, then the citizen is allowed to proceed. If the business is established and is showing signs of national development, then the government may take on its own to give citizenship to the individual. The sale of a passport, whether it be private or diplomatic, should never be associated with this affair. Never should the sale of passport be associated with business by investment. So I'm saying it again. Business must be proposed, it must be assessed, it must be established, and the government would have the free will to determine whether or not to give a passport or make the person a citizen of Grenada upon request. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Have yourself a pleasant day. It's 22 minutes on to 8 o'clock. Heaven Hill says, gift giving between businesses and people in public service must be done with proper gift giving etiquette. To draw the line between bribery and honest gift giving, tact and savvy must be used to avoid a breach of professionalism. Any prudent person would know to return the gift. Duncan was simply following professional gift giving etiquette. Really, he did not have a choice but to return it. I don't know if everybody would have made that choice. 435-2041, that's the number to call. Good morning.
Yes, listen, I wouldn't stay long.
I wouldn't allow you to stay long.
Why the thing come in the public? I mean, why the private letter come in the public? And I think it shows where we are. I mean, something like that should come in the public regardless how it came. And finally, we have to remember, Mr. Duncan was put on trial in the beginning of the first term of the NMP government when they were looking for $2 million. They spent $2 million to find $2 million.
Okay.
That was sitting there.
All right.
In the ministry, people tend to forget that. They should read his book.
Okay.
Walk in the tightrope or something like that.
All right. Thank you, caller. Good. Nice. 19 minutes on to 8 o'clock. That's the time. 435-2041. That's the number to call to be in on the program this morning. Let's go back to the telephone line. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome to the program.
And Happy New Year to you and listeners and viewers.
Thanks, and same to you.
Good. I think the CBI program is a very good one. All needs to be done, ensuring that it is properly executed. They make sure they make the pertinent checks and all the balances are in place so that the benefits can be arrived and achieved.
Okay.
However, I've been hearing before that this gift thing has been going on for years in Grenada. So it in my opinion, is not anything new. It's all based on who gets the gift. And as the previous caller said, Mr. Duncan went through a lot because of his book, Walking the Straight and Narrow. He knows what it is like.
Okay.
When that previous government took over, he was put on test or tried because of what they couldn't find and so on and so forth. So he knows it is best to stay in the straight and narrow. A lot of other politicians got a lot of money on their hand in the CBI program.
How do you know that?
Pardon?
How do you know that?
It's been noised abroad. A lot of people talk about it.
Okay.
But in Grenada, we only talk. That's normal. We talk, and then after a while we forget it because Grenadians don't make any kind of big thing over things. We talk about it in the time, and after a while we just let it lie.
Okay.
So that's been going on for years.
Okay.
And this is why some people love the CBI, because they can get a lot of money on their hand, get a lot of gifts on their hand. So in my opinion, it is something that's been going on. But the persons, if they want the government to be straight, somebody in the top must stop it.
Okay.
And let what must be happen.
What
and
must
not be, don't happen.
What must.
Correct is right.
Have a good one.
Right.
Have a good one.
Okay, brother.
Good. 18 minutes on to 8 o'clock, 435-2041. Let's see what's happening on the Facebook page. The CBI program is good as it helps country economically, but integrity and accountability is a must. All right, nice, good, okay. 435-2041. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Welcome.
Happy New Year to you and the management and staff of PN.
Thanks.
And all your followers. It hasn't started up too well, but we hope it can get better from here.
Thanks, and same to you. You're in the garden, right?
Yeah, no, I'm washing a car this morning.
Okay, all right.
A couple of quick things. First of all, there's a caller who said that the bigger picture is how a private letter became public. I am shocked at such a statement. And this person said that is a bigger picture, you know. Corruption is not a big issue. This is how some people don't see crime as an issue. But how the criminals are dealt with, it becomes a bigger picture. Now, this is not a private officer. Crime to try to corrupt a public officer for the information of that person, if they're innocent. Secondly, Mr. Duncan was not the only person who received it. As far as I know, all of the members of that board of the CBI received gifts. Thankfully, I think all of them have returned it. The law states very clearly how those gifts should be handled. And for someone to say, an investor who has been here for quite a while, to pretend that they didn't know what obtained, and it is a cultural misunderstanding or something, it means that those who were there before tolerated it. But if you have been here before and you thought that was the norm, it means that it was being accepted before. And it begs the question, what kinds of people we have here who were in those positions before? So it is sad, and I applaud Mr. Duncan, who I know him and I know who the person is, and all the others turned it down. It's a shame and it's a stain on us as a country. And for those who think that the bigger picture is how it was handled, sad. Shame on you. Shame.
Okay, thank you. Have a wonderful day. Have a good one yourself. Good, God bless. 16 minutes on to 8 o'clock, and Alistair Warwood Sr. says, CBI program is one thing. What do we call the one for ambassador at large? Okay, that's another another topical issue there. Heaven Hill says, only in Grenada we commend people for honesty and following law and ethical rules. It's the norm to corrupt, cheat, bribe, and lie. So following the rules seems as an exception to applaud. It is expected behavior. Oh gosh. 15 minutes on to the 8 o'clock hour, 8 o'clock. Workers, you should be entering the workplace now if you're not there as yet. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Happy New Year.
Thanks, and same to you.
A question I really want to ask, for how can we authenticate the letter or the letters that were sent to the various persons? Is it a strategy to prove a point or to make some other people look bad? And secondly, if a public officer does that, that's normal. A public officer is expected to do that. As a matter of fact, anyone with integrity will know bribery is wrong. It is filthy and it is corrupt. So I don't see the reason for blowing this loud trumpet about what the gentleman did. Honestly, I see that political games.
Okay. Thank you, caller. Thank you, caller. Ron Bartholomew says, Uncle Tilly got $50,000 for the party and members of the party never knew about it. It was on his personal bank account. 14 minutes on to 8 o'clock. 435-2041. That's the number to call. Good morning.
Citizen by investment. The investment must be known to Grenadians well in advance. The investment must be fully assessed. And if the investment is accepted by Grenadians, then the investor may apply for a passport, okay, or to be a citizen, and he may be granted citizenship. But the investment must be well known by all Grenadians. Let us see what develops Grenada. And this sale of passports is an abomination to my mind. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you. 13 minutes on to 8 o'clock. And this WhatsApp user says, Innocent, when it have a good program like this, it needs 2 days. All what in the dark need to be in the light. God bless Mr. Duncan. I tired of this dishonest thing in this island. Hats off, Mr. Duncan. Mr. Duncan, I'm praying for you and family, plus this country. Good pattern to follow. Hats off, Mr. Duncan. Mr. Duncan is the citizen of the day today, boy. Good morning to you, sir, and your dear family. Good morning, caller.
Yes, sir. A critical question relative to that issue. Was the gift sent before the person got approval of the citizenship application, or was it that they already got it and so they just, send it because, they're saying thank you? That's a critical question. It has not been answered so far.
Okay, good. Thanks. All right. Okay, thank you, caller. Innocent, for the record's sake, to the best of my knowledge, the CBI board was not the one who leaked the document. Okay, you have some internal information there, Papi. 435-2041. Let's go back to the telephone line. Good morning.
Innocent, good morning and Happy New Year.
Thanks, and same to you.
I have much credit. I hope I finish.
Finish.
Innocent, like the people, the gift senders, they didn't realize that a government change. To me, these things was going on. But you see, these people and them don't take time off to study we country. They only study what they want and what they get. So if they didn't know that, they would have realized that a government change and no gift receiving.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right. Okay, this WhatsApp user says the UK plans to end CBI in a few months. We should run it transparently while we can. 11 minutes away from the 8 o'clock hour. Let's go back and see what's happening on our face. Wow, it's interactive this morning like, wow, okay. Let's see what's happening here. Good. Gift to public figures are okay, but there must be a limit. Gift is given when something is done and the person appreciates the action. This is not a gift. This is a bribery. Okay. 435-2041. Let's go to the telephone line. Good morning, caller. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Innocent.
Welcome to the program. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine, thank you, and good morning to the nation. I just want to say, sir, that this Citizen by Investment program is not something new to this country. As a matter of fact, maybe it was not documented that way, but since the time of Sir Eric Gary, he made a deal with Dr. Charles Sherd, who was a dermatologist, right? And Dr. Sherd had to serve the island until he couldn't work any longer. He had to serve the islands of Grenada, Carriacou, and Martinique whenever he comes to Grenada. So I just want to say that the Citizen by Investment program is a good program. It just has to be monitored and dealt with integrity. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
You too, my dear. God bless you. All right. 10 minutes on to 8 o'clock. Danley Alexis on Facebook says it matters not at what stage the gift was sent. What happened was wrong. All right. May says gifts to public figures are okay, but there must be a limit. Okay. Yeah, I think I think I read this one already. Good. 435-2041. What's happening on WhatsApp? Let's see what's happening here. If there's any new comments. That user says, good governance dictates that there is sound policy around ethical issues in any organization, not just the CBI. I agree. Back to the telephone line. Good morning.
Very quickly and innocent. Let me clarify something. Now, the Citizens by Investment Program is not something that I'm not a great fan of it, but it's internationally accepted, and these hours can be cleaned up. But what happened, they had nothing to do with Citizens by Investment. Let's not confuse it. This is an investor who has been here for years. Corruption is corruption. This is an investor who has a project that promised a lot, is dead in the water, and is definitely trying to get probably a soft landing from the persons who are involved in a program which he thinks may be had or can be had on him.
So, caller, let me.
It has nothing to do with citizen by investment. The man is already a citizen, and he's been a citizen for years.
Caller, let me ask you a question, all right? Are you of the opinion that occurrences like this has happened in the past?
Well, I am not of the opinion, but from what I'm seeing and based on the utterance of the person, the surprise they showed, and they had been an investor for a long time, it means that this was happening all along, and suddenly they got a shock because it'd been rebuffed this time around, and it had not been before.
Okay.
So let's not mix it up. It has nothing to do with a citizen. It has nothing to do with a passport. This man is an investor. He's been here for long. He promised how many $1 billion of a medical school, university, all kinds of things. So let's forget of the citizen by investment and look at corruption for what it is.
Okay. Thank you, caller.
Stop getting it mixed up.
Thank
Please.
you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. 7 minutes away from 8 o'clock. I want to take the opportunity and say happy birthday to you, Anne Rose Rennie of there in Paradise. Originally from Telescope, but he'll now reside in Paradise. Good morning. Happy birthday to you. It's coming from your sisters, Glenda and Anne-Marie. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
And how are you?
I am good. How about you?
I'm very good.
Happy New Year.
Well, you know what? Happy is an understatement. There isn't a word to describe how my year began. I'm telling you. Happy is an understatement.
Talk to me now. Talk to me. Give me the recipe now. Give me the recipe. Give me the recipe.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I didn't even have the recipe myself. But it was like showers of blessing upon blessing upon blessing in all kind of form. I'm telling you. There isn't a word to describe it. Happy is an understatement. Trust me, my friend.
Okay.
Listen, about this thing that you're talking about, you know, that issue with the returning of that money or whatever it was. It seems as though bribing is another investment. Citizenship by investment. Does that really happen? In our situation, in that project, I don't think so. So this whole thing has to be revamped and let it actually be what the name say. Citizenship by investment. But it seems as though bribing officials, that's an investment.
No, I don't like this thing where you're using one paintbrush to paint everything. This, and who knows if it wasn't a genuine oversight.
Hold on.
Who said there was bribery involved?
Hold on. Give me a little chance to finish what I'm saying. All right, thank you.
Go right ahead, my dear. The floor is yours.
No, my point is this. It is not about who released a private letter. It is not about who returned whatever was returned. It is about the integrity and the good name of a country where people are using that country's passport, right? And the problem that I have is people have an issue with who released that is a private something. Is not a private something once it go on www. And I'm not talking about the worldwide wrestling here. I'm talking about this web thing. Anybody who know what a web is will know there is nothing private. When you send some, nobody don't sit down and write with pen and paper again letter. It's not a pen and paper letter.
Okay.
It goes on the internet.
Right.
And what I'm saying, in Grenada, so this is my point I'm making about that bribery thing. In Grenada, there is a culture of nothing good has been happening for so long. Nothing good. People adopted that culture. So here, one person did something good to bring the good name back to Grenada. And there are those who have a problem with that because they are so saturated with that nothing but culture for so long. And that should never be talked about. What the young man did or what he didn't do. We have to go back to the days when Grenada was a good name.
Okay.
And that nonsense about corruption and who was corrupt and who wasn't corrupted. Right?
Okay.
So that is my point. So when it's not painting everything with one brush, if you're painting everything with one brush, it's about Grenada. The brush is Grenada.
Right.
And the paint is Grenada.
Okay.
And I'm a Grenadian.
Okay, good.
Right?
Nice.
So that's my point, my dear.
Thank you. Have a good day.
That culture have to come to an end and bring back the good name of Grenada.
But lady, ain't you just told me that you couldn't have had a better start to the year? Let's keep it that way now. You're singing so, oh my goodness me.
Yes, because you see, I'm so infuriated. When people find that something good has happened and they're thinking something wrong.
Okay, caller, thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good.
All right.
Wow, you didn't hear the passion in that lady's voice? My goodness me. Folks, it's 3 minutes away from 8 o'clock, at which time we join the British Broadcasting Corporation for that bulletin of news. Let's see if we can accommodate another call before we do the wrap. Yeah, I already took that commercial break, so it's okay. We can do that. And those of you who like my instrumental in the background, it is Spanish Guitar Best Hits, the best of Spanish guitar. Yeah, I'm a guitar freak, right? Yeah, I love the guitar. That's my instrument of choice. Okay, folks, this is where we are going to pull it down this morning. I do hope that you enjoyed the program. Let me see, do we have another Facebook post before I go off? I like to keep in touch with my Facebook people. Yeah, they take the opportunity to reach out to us from far and wide. Let's see what's happening on WhatsApp also. Okay, there's nothing there. So once again, I want to say thank you for all those of you who participated. And you know for a fact that this story is not dying fast. All right? It's a story that will go on for a while. I do expect to hear comments from the opposition side, okay, because there are certain aspersions that were cast as it relates to maybe that was happening before, and it would be a good thing to hear from the members from the previous administration, the NNP administration, as to whether that sort of thing occurred under their watch. Okay, so this is a story that is not going anywhere fast, but I just like to thank those of you who participated in the conversation, and good morning once again to my man of the day, Mr. Richard Duncan. Good morning to you, sir, and keep on doing what you do. I know you very well, and I would expect nothing less from you. All right, this wasn't a hard thing for you to do. It was it was natural. It was a natural thing for you to do. Hadn't there been an integrity life? What's the regulation? Let me see. I want to make sure I get it correct. The Integrity in Public Life Act and this sort of thing. Even if those things did not exist, the Richard that I know, his decision would have been the same. I love you, Grenada. Bye-bye. This is as far as we can go with this program. We join the BBC momentarily. Bye-bye.